Hey everybody, today we're going to be learning about the different types of art. So, the types of art are going to be kind of a range. So, we'll cover what each individual one is, and then you'll be answering a couple questions with this Ed puzzle to double check that you got what we were talking about. So, the thing that really determines what the type of art is going to be the subject matter. Subject matter is the images in the artwork. So, this is the picture or the things that you're actually seeing. For example, in this artwork here, the subject matter are going to be the people that are sitting here in this painting. This is by Kehinde Wiley, who is famous for doing the President Obama portrait that actually hangs in the National Portrait Gallery. Representational art is going to be one of the first types of art that we have. So, this is art that is anything that you can actually see what's in it. So, if you can tell what the subject matter is, it's going to be considered representational. And not only do we know what it is, it's very clear to us what it is, it's very obvious what it is. For example, in this artwork, you can see that there's lots of fruits, there's a pitcher in the back, they're sitting on a table, there is a curtain near the side of it. I'll turn on my pointer so you can really see what I'm talking about. And then this is also sometimes called naturalistic or realistic artwork. So, naturalistic, realistic artwork is all representational. And it's called that again because of the subject matter that we can actually see in it very clearly. So here is an artwork where we can see this great wave coming down and smashing this boat here because we can very clearly see what this artwork is going to have in it. We can see that this is going to be a representational type of artwork. I'm going to pause this one real quick so you guys can answer a couple questions on your Ed puzzle about this. And then the next type of art is going to be abstract art. Abstract art. So this is art that takes a real subject matter and then purposely makes it different or distorts it, simplifies it, exaggerates it, fragments it, basically makes it a little bit harder to tell what it originally was. So abstract art is where you take a real thing and you change it in such a way that it makes it a little bit more difficult to tell what it was. You can kind of tell, but not all the way. It's not totally clear. So this is when things start to get, a little bit more interpretive. And artists do this for all different kinds of reasons. Some of them are wanting the focus of one specific part of their artwork. Sorry, let me rephrase that. The artists abstract their artwork to focus on one specific part of the subject matter. Sometimes they will use a lot of repeated shapes or forms in their artwork from one piece of the subject matter so that you really know what this is about. For example, this is Right Bird Left, and this is an abstraction of birds. So you can see all the different individual like little beaks, and this is maybe his like little nose that you can see. And there's those same general shapes kind of repeated throughout. Another reason why is going to be expressing emotion. So if it's not going to be absolutely realistic and representational, then there's got to be a reason why they abstract it. And another reason why, other than to focus on one specific part of the subject matter, is to express some sort of emotion. So this is a quote from Willem de Kooning about this artwork right here called Woman Number One. I'm not interested in abstracting or taking things out or reducing painting to design, form, line, and color. So those are the elements. I paint this way because I can keep putting more things in: drama, anger, pain, love, a figure, a horse, my ideas about space. Through your eyes, again, it becomes an emotion or idea. So he's really trying to get across different emotions through this abstraction in this painting. Non-representational art, on the other hand, is going to be a little different from the other two. The other two still have subject matter that we can tell what they are to some degree. Abstract, again, you can't really tell that much, but you kind of get what it is. And then realistic is very much you know exactly what it is. Then there's non representational. This means nothing in the painting represents a real thing. In another way of saying it, there is no real subject matter. It's not trying to represent anything from the real life, no subject matter. So they aren't creating anything from abstraction. It's just strictly elements and principles. So you can kind of think back to our Labyrinth project when we first learned about how to make patterns and we were trying to really make sure we weren't taking anything from real life, no real life imagery. Those would all be examples of non-representational art patterns that we used. So this one here is a very famous one by Jackson Pollock. As you can see, this is mostly composed of different kinds of lines and colors and the textural element of all of the different paint splotches. So this is, again, going to be non-representational. It's not supposed to be a real thing. People do this or artists do this, I guess I should say, because they want to create art that is pure, pure and simple. Sometimes simplified art can be nicer visually, and you're not trying to like focus on anything emotional necessarily. It's more just for that aesthetic value. So aesthetic value is really just like what you like and why. So arranging things that feel like they look good together because it's aesthetically pleasing. Here's an example of this. It's an arrangement of different colors and shapes and lines all through watercolor. And it's really just about arranging these in such a way that they're aesthetically pleasing. It's what you like and why. So I'm going to pause this real quick to double check your knowledge. And then the last thing that I really want to say about this is something that I said at the beginning of the presentation. Just because there are 3 different types of art, there are 3 different types of art, being non-representational, abstract, realism, or representational is another word for that, does not mean that they only can fall into one category. For example, we can clearly tell that this is a gumball machine, but we can kind of tell that this is definitely going to be a fish. It's not too terribly abstract where it's like all weird colors and stuff. It's still fairly representational, just not all the way. So we kind of put it in the middle. The differences between the 3 of these are kind of going to be on like a sliding scale. So it doesn't necessarily have to be all the way realistic or all the way abstract to fit in between. The same can be true for non-representational. There are plenty of artworks that we can definitely look at and be like, yep, that's not representing anything. But there's other ones like this one, which is actually going to look more topographical, meaning it looks like a view from above of a map. And it might be, and you've got some of these lines and textures that don't necessarily look like real life things, but they could be. So we're not totally sure if it's supposed to be an abstraction or if it's just, the textures and patterns, the elements and principles that we're really seeing there. So for that, we can kind of put it in the middle in between non-representational and abstract. All right. I hope that you guys enjoyed this, and then hopefully you guys aced your Ed puzzle. See you all soon.